my sense is, first of all, I wouldn't be surprised that the government changed the policy stance to some extent to help the property sector. The market has been waiting for this and sort of anticipating this to happen from I would say the Q4 last year, because property sector momentum has been quite weak, and that has a spillover effect to the rest of the economy. So something will happen, I think, in this year. The government probably will do something to help the property sector. But whether this policy shift will be meaningful enough to change the momentum in the property sector, whether we're getting to close to the end of the property down cycle, there's still a question mark. So we still need to wait and see the demand supply situation in the property sector will actually change, because there's inventory levels in many of the cities are still pretty high. So I would say we probably still need time to observe what happens.
Zhiwei, this policy was aimed at deleveraging, and I want to get your take whether or not it had achieved its desired effect, and whether or not this was a policy mistake.
Well, I wouldn't call it a policy mistake. I think, there's a debate. I guess some people in the market would argue that these policies are too restrictive and push the property sector into a sort of abrupt deleveraging process that's hurt the economy. I would think this is probably going to happen one way or another, because if you look at the fundamentals in the property sector, it's just an oversupply situation. I mean, without the three red line policy, this adjustment in the property sector will happen one way or another. If anything, if the regulators doesn't do anything, it probably will happen later, but probably be more damaging for the overall economy. So I wouldn't blame this adjustment in the property sector to that three red line policy per se. Now, whether at this stage, whether this policy is still very meaningful, maybe not. I think the deleveraging process to some extent already happened, right? So in that sense, these policies are not as meaningful or as impactful at this stage for the sector, for the economy, as they were introduced several years ago.
Could we view this as a policy support to the removal of these three red lines? And could we expect to see more stimulus, if you will? Of course, we've heard from authorities a potential LPR cut, triple R cuts, interest rate cuts.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's the key issue, right? So why the market got very excited yesterday was because I think people take this as a potential signal that there will be probably more meaningful policies to come. The government will do something really big to help the economy. Now, I do think there will be more policies to follow, but I'm not sure that's going to be massive enough to change the property sector dynamics in a short period of time. Because so for instance, policies like relaxing the restrictions in tier 1 cities like Beijing and Shanghai, but these cities only count for a very small percentage of the overall housing sector in China, less than 10%. The most of the problems actually happen, they are in the tier 3, tier 4 cities, over inventory problem, oversupply problem. That's very hard to be resolved. It probably takes longer time. So my sense is that yes, there will be more policies to come, but this adjustment, my baseline case is this adjustment in the property sector probably will still take some time to be resolved.